Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, the Avatar Wolf, and we're here with our fourth NFL file and our last team of the AFC East tonight, as we have the New York Jets, who last year they went 7-10 the end of the season for the AFC East last season. I thought they did a lot better than that, but hey, 7-10 is not bad for the Jets, especially like their past seasons in the previous seasons before last season. They really haven't been good for a long time now, but at the same time, they went out and they got a big star now at quarterback. Of course, I'm talking about number 8, Aaron Rodgers, coming to New York. And it makes a big question mark now known for the Jets. Is like, how are they going to do with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback? Now, we don't have any special guests tonight to talk about the Jets, so we're just going to go into this here, talk about the offense, talk about the defense, talk about all the stuff. Let me ask you guys this. Aaron Rodgers is coming into this season coming off of probably, I think, his worst season ever in the NFL last season with the Green Bay Packers, with a young team that, like the receiving core was young. The only thing that was really, older for Rodgers and more veteran-ese for Rodgers was the offensive line and the running back system with Aaron Jones. Now he has a rookie running back in Breece Hall. I know they got Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook is apparently the second-string running back for the Jets on this depth chart here, according to ESPN. I don't know if him and Breece Hall are going to be sharing the load, and I think Breece Hall is actually a really good running back, and they shouldn't just put him to the wayside and just put Dalvin Cook as a starter. Breece Hall is actually a decent running back. We'll see how Breece Hall does after his torn ACL, though. That's going to be the big question mark. And then you also have an offensive line that is very lackluster for Rodgers. Besides Becton, I don't know anyone here on this offensive line. And plus, I'm looking at this offensive line right now. They have Becton as a second stringer. Billy Turner's, I don't even know who Billy Turner is, but he's probably doing a lot better than Becton is right now on this offensive line, apparently. So yeah, if you're a Jet fan, let me know who on the offensive line is going to keep Aaron Rodgers up straight, really, because if they play against big big defensive linemen that can get to the quarterback, I don't know how they're going to protect Rodgers. Now, of course, Garrett Wilson is actually a stud. I cannot say anything wrong about that. I think Corey Davis is actually a solid receiver as well. Allen Lazard's a solid receiver as well. Tyler Conklin's a decent tight end. The targets are there, but at the same time, it's also Rodgers with a young core on the offense. Again, he had problems with it last season with the Packers. I don't know how he's going to do with the Jets, and I feel like it's kind of going to hurt them in a way and stuff like that. But when we talk about the Jets, I think the big key right now for the Jets is their superior defense. And what I mean by that is that Quentin Williams is still back. They re-signed Quentin Williams, which was a big get for the Jets. Carl Lawson's still there. John Franklin Myers is still there. C.J. Mosley's still a stud in that middle linebacker spot. Sauce Gardner coming off of 1 year. Sauce Gardner's, he did really good last season. You can't, deny that. DJ Reed's still a solid CB on the other side of Gardner. The Jets' defense is looking excellent. You can't be saying anything wrong about this defense for the Jets. Quentin Williams should be, as long as Quentin Williams is getting in the backfield, you can win games with his defense. Just to be upfront and honest with you. I don't really think they really lost that many people either on this defensive side of the ball. So yeah, I think the Jets are decent on defense. I think, I'm not really worried about the defense. I think defense is going to keep them in games. It's just, I don't know if the offense can produce with Rodgers under center when it's a very young team, and I don't know if the offensive line really proved themselves or nothing like that, I'm just scared about this offensive line with Rodgers, and I'm worried that Rodgers is going to turn into the Green Bay Rodgers that we saw last season at the end of the season, blaming everyone else but himself. Let's just get to the scheduling. Alright guys, so here's the schedule of the Jets. I have them going an average of 10-7 this season, a ceiling of 14-3 if everything goes right, and a floor of 6-11. Now, the reason the ceiling is so high for the Jets is because I think they're a better team than a fourth team in a division really is. Especially last season, I think they were. But they have to face the fourth teams in the division, like the Texans, the Browns, the Falcons. And we'll talk more about the Falcons later on, because I think the Falcons are going to be a dark horse and a surprising team this year. But like looking at these games right here, it's like they have an easier schedule, and if everything goes right, they can win these games easily. Now, I have Week 1 losing to the Bills, I think, and here's the main reason I have them losing the first two games. Aaron Rodgers, in past history, does not play good in the first week of the season, and it usually takes until Week 3 to get like his bearings together, right? So I have him losing to the Bills. I do have a mark on it though, because it's in New York and it's a divisional game, so it could go either way, in my opinion. Week 2, I have them losing to the Cowboys. I don't think they beat the Cowboys. Rodgers is going to have like bad games in either one of those two games, in my opinion. And then Week 3 is going to be, you're going to see Aaron Rodgers back to maybe his normal self. But Week 3, they haven't beaten the Patriots in New York. I put a mark on there because I think New England can actually steal a game from them, or two games, let's be honest here. They lose to Kansas City, beat Denver. I think Denver's going to be a lot tougher than what I put here, though. But I had to give, I didn't put a mark on Denver because sometimes Denver's going to lose games, right? They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Giants in a close game. They beat the Chargers in a close game. They beat the Raiders outright. I don't think the Raiders are a good team this year. We'll talk more about the Raiders when we get to them. They lose to the Bills in Buffalo. I have them losing because it's in Buffalo. It's not in New York. And like I said before, the reason that Buffalo's even winning Week 1 is because I don't think Rodgers plays good in the first game of the season. They beat Miami in New York. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Texans. They lose to Miami in Miami. That's going to be a toss-up game as well, in my opinion. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Browns. And then they lose the last game of the season against the Patriots in New England. That is my actual thought process right now for this season. So my final conclusions for the Jets is going to be a question mark here in just general like football knowledge. I need to see how this team plays with Rodgers under center. I need to see how this offensive line plays with Rodgers under center as well, because if the offensive line gets completely buried and destroyed, I don't think it matters if it's Rodgers under center, Zach Wilson under center. You can bring Tom Brady out of retirement and he'll still get killed in this offensive line, because this offensive line is just still trash. If Rodgers can play good with a bad offensive line and get the ball out before he gets hit and before stuff happens, and these young receivers can get open like that, like Rodgers needs him to be, then I think this will be fine for the Jets, and the Jets can win games. But it's going to all depend on Aaron Rodgers. And plus, the big key right now is if Aaron Rodgers is actually able to get the ball out in time and actually pass correctly and consistently. Last season, we've seen Rodgers playing certain ways to where he would throw the ball out and it was just missing the mark completely with easy throws as well. And yeah, it wasn't just Rodgers' fault in Green Bay last season, but like Rodgers was a key component of that fault, of those faults, of the faults of the Green Bay Packers not making the postseason last season. So if Rodgers can fix his mistakes from last season and just feel more comfortable in the pocket, get the ball off quickly in time, and not get hit too much, I think this is fine for the Jets. However, if Rodgers has problems in the defensive end of the Jets, is going to have to carry this team to victories, and they're more than willing to get the job done. I mean, they went 7-10 last season because of it. It was 7-10, right? Let me just check real quick. Yeah, they went 7-10 because of the defense last season. I can see them getting another like good 8-9 record or 9-8 record with his defense carrying the front road and Rodgers just string on their back like Peyton Manning did one year in Denver. So yeah, that is my final thought process on the Jets. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments section. I mean, you guys have different opinions than I do, and it's okay, right? So yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. And tomorrow we'll be back with some more Madden Files, and we're gonna start talking about the AFC North. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.